Before the iPhone and the touchscreen smartphone renaissance, one of the largest names synonymous with cell phones and smartphones was BlackBerry. The Canadian company Research in Motion, or RIM, which would eventually change its name to BlackBerry in 2013, was contracted by a Canadian phone company known as Rogers in 1989 to work on their Mobitex network. Mobitex was a system designed for messaging. This turned RIM into an expert on instant messaging very early on in its life. In the mid to late 90s, RIM began creating pagers, which they continued to develop and improve upon. These pagers would eventually come equipped with color displays, Wi-Fi, instant messaging, and web browsing capabilities. They were also one of the first to introduce a feature that would become one of BlackBerry's most popular features, the thumb keyboard. The first BlackBerry device that could be considered a phone came out in 2002. This was the BlackBerry 5810. The phone could do email, web browsing, and obviously now take phone calls. Despite being able to take calls, the 5810 did not feature a speaker or microphone built in. Instead, users had to use the included headset to make and receive calls. The early BlackBerry phones featured a track wheel for navigating around the software. However, when the BlackBerry Pearl came out, the track wheel was replaced with a small track ball. In 2009, BlackBerry changed from using a track ball to a track pad. Why did people like BlackBerry so much? Many loved the handsets for their wonderful physical keyboards, which paired amazingly with BlackBerry's messaging service BBM. BBM was one of the earliest services that got instant messaging right. They knew people wanted instant connection to others. BBM did not limit users on the amount of messages they could send, unlike their competition. BlackBerry was also very secure at the time, utilizing advanced encryption methods, which made the phones eligible for use by government agencies. The high security of BlackBerry also made them very appealing for business users, and the keyboard was a godsend for those who wanted to get important work done outside the office without lugging around a laptop. Even President Obama used a BlackBerry, and many saw that as a reason for why they should use one too. At BlackBerry's peak, their market share was roughly 20% worldwide and nearly 50% in the United States. However, BlackBerry quickly started losing sales and market share. Part of BlackBerry's downfall can almost certainly be placed on the rapid expansion of smartphone technology. Once the iPhone was released in 2007, many realized that Apple was onto something. At the same time BlackBerry began to fall, iOS, and more importantly Android, saw a massive spike in usage. Android and iOS would become the two main smartphone operating systems, and BlackBerry's reluctance to allow third-party applications the same freedom as Android and iOS did certainly alienated BlackBerry from the competition. BlackBerry's operating system simply became outdated very quickly, which turned off many customers. Although hardcore BlackBerry fans still held on, mainstream audiences were drawn towards the now more popular touchscreen smartphones. Recently, I briefly owned a BlackBerry Classic. It was one of the best feeling phones I've ever held. It was heavy and built almost perfectly. Holding it in my hand just felt nice. The keyboard was also very satisfying and easy to use. It even had a backlight. It felt just like the older BlackBerry Bold models, except now more modern and a bit more classy in my opinion. However, BlackBerry OS X was not very usable. I tried using third-party apps, and there weren't many available, and several did not function very well. It's a shame such a well-engineered phone was let down by outdated software. BlackBerry did a lot right. They knew how to build amazing hardware that felt great to use. They were one of the first giants when it came to instant messaging, and they knew how to keep their clientele safe and secure. But BlackBerry aged fast, with most mainstream users jumping ship to fully touchscreen phones that had wide third-party app support and more features. BlackBerry tried to regain some interest by releasing their BBM service onto iOS and Android in 2013. Sadly, the consumer version of BBM has been shut down, with only the enterprise version still operational. In 2015, BlackBerry came out with the Priv, their first Android smartphone, and the last phone manufactured by BlackBerry Limited. Newer BlackBerry phones are manufactured by TCL or Optimus Infracom. Today, BlackBerry focuses on providing secure end-to-end mobility solutions. All in all, BlackBerry quickly went from being on top of the smartphone industry to basically falling into complete obscurity due to their inability to keep up with the changing smartphone and mobile tech market. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions or anything you would like to add on, please leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed, please consider liking or even subscribing. Until next time, goodbye.